In theater, this one-act play, now on its third run, is about two families and one tension-filled dinner table. The playwright of Reconciliation Dinner, Floy Quintos, tells us what audiences can expect from this restaging. Floy, great to have you with us on The Final Word.
Thank you very much.
Is this from real-life experiences?
Okay, is it? Yes, in a way, but it never got that tense. But it's easy to imagine it could have gone there. It's easy to imagine. I have many friends from many political spectrums. It's always wonderful to see what the possibilities were.
And have you been in any of these reconciliation dinners?
Personally, have I ever, the whole idea of reconciliation dinners came because after the elections, there were efforts to, especially in the theater community, to try and heal whatever needed to be healed.
The deep political wounds.
Right, rather. And it was interesting to, although I personally did not go to any, because I said, you know, we don't do this now. We do this over time. Mm-hmm. And over that time, that's when I mulled over the play and wrote it.
And you personally, Floy, have you healed after the May 2022 elections?
Okay, that's
have you recovered?
Have I recovered? Yes, because you need to recover to write.
Yeah.
You need to have a certain distance, a certain amount of detachment in order to see how people are reacting, how the characters that I imagined would react, how they reflect people I've known, how they reflect struggles, words I've heard. Now, yes, I suppose I have healed, but that doesn't mean that you stop observing. That doesn't mean that you stop noting things. That
Becoming vigilant.
Yes, of course. That doesn't mean that you stop being vigilant, that you stop resisting. But it is fun because it allows you to imagine and to write in characters you know, to be able to see. Earlier, I was at a rehearsal, and I noticed how time had changed the nuances of the actors. Because the actual play, as I was telling you earlier, the actual text of the play takes place it's a six-year span, the evening of the Marcos burial in 2016, and it travels all the way to the first anniversary of the 2022 election. So that's 7 years for two families which have been ripped apart.
The Medinas and the Valderramas.
And the Valderramas, yes. And close friends, very close friends.
Pro-Marcos and anti-Marcos.
Yes, quite. And it's interesting to see how, one of the nicest comments I've gotten is that, and it seems to be a general consensus, that the play is fair to everyone. It takes pot shots at everybody. Initially, the play was perceived as being purely Pinklawan, but everyone who's come to see it says, no, you're equally, somebody said to me, you're more cruel to the Pinklawans than you are. I said, maybe because I see that, maybe because I know that. So that's one thing I'm trying to achieve.
And Floy, it has really been ridiculously successful.
Thank you.
I mean, its first run had 9 performances.
Yes.
Its second run has 14 performances. And now you will restage it again at the PETA Theater
in Quezon
City.
Yes.
This coming Saturday.
It opens this Saturday.
It opens this Saturday. Has it evolved from the first to the second and now to the third run? Should the people who watch it in the first round and second round should watch this again because there are changes to the script?
Oh yes,
the storyline.
I don't think you write a play that reflects the times, and it's your job as a playwright to move it with the times. So the first version I think was really very fresh. The wounds were very fresh. The second version, which I rewrote because a year had passed since the election, the second version had more grit to it. It was sadder, angrier. The third version, I think, has more wisdom. The third version has a sense of, I hate to use the word because everybody uses it, a sense of moving on, but again, with that responsibility to resist, that responsibility to remain vigilant, that responsibility to remember, especially. One of the nice things...
Never forget.
Yes, because that seems to be a disease of the Filipinos. And that's the one thing I'd like to... We really rewrote for this version. The way we need to remember. Because everybody says, move on, move on. It's time to move on now, finish now. But we have to move on and still remember.
And the Medinas and the Valderramas, do they really get their political ideologies reconciled, or will they remain where they're at until the very end?
They remain where they're at the risk of giving it all away. They remain where they're at, but become wiser in terms of acceptance. Because everyone was expecting, so what are you really trying to say? that we deal with the trauma in our own ways, that we resolve these things in our own ways, and that in the end, our humanity shines through, which is really the only way to go.
And as we can see, no, I mean, from 6 years ago, from the first stage of this one-act play all the way up until the first anniversary of the Marcos administration, it has evolved and it will continue to evolve.
Correct.
The story.
Correct.
So much gossip, so much chismis out there.
Correct.
So will there be a fourth run after this? As you continue to update the screenplay. I mean, the play itself.
Right now, I think where I'm at as a playwright is to move on to another work. To move on to another work. My last two plays have been highly politicized in a sense. And I want to move on to explore other areas of spirituality, religiosity, things that affect us as Filipinos.
What would you like viewers? I'm going to be watching it.
Okay, yes,
It's
I know.
coming Saturday
Yeah, I know.
with a lot of friends.
Yes.
What would you like me to take home after watching Reconciliation Dinner?
What would I like you and other people to take home? That the whole idea of moving on, the whole idea of accepting and integrating should never come without remembering, without memorializing, without, in a sense, vigilance, resistance. And that is the only way for me to achieve some genuine reconciliation. When we all are aware of each other's desires for this country and what we're willing to pay for it.
But on the flip side, are there people that you know who have not reconciled their differences up until today? They are still enemies. They're not even on speaking terms.
Well, no, not that hindi ganun kagrabe, no? But I would say what I would say is that and there's a line in the play that we all just go on having dinner, we all just go on smiling and talking to each other, but the hurt is there. And the hurt is there, the resentment is there, and sometimes all it takes, as in the play, is one little wrong move, one little thing, and everything can go awry. So let's
You really have to continue to be sensitive.
Yes, exactly.
To each and everyone's feelings.
Exactly.
Especially when you're having dinner.
Especially when you're having dinner, especially when it's supposed to be
Makakapikunan eh.
correct. I know. And there, I've gone there. That I've experienced.
And because, of course, you took the side of one candidate during the May 2022 elections, have you experienced friends blocking you from social media?
Yes.
Not only blocking you, but even unfriending you.
Yes, I have. And it's okay because I myself have unfriended some people when they've... But I've always tried to take it from a point of conversation. And that also happens in the play. Let's talk about this. No, I don't want to talk. Okay, you don't want to talk about it yet. Fine. And then suddenly realize it's been a year. And suddenly realize it's been a year, 6 months. And then that has given me as a playwright more to consider about the nature of Filipinos, about our nature. And one of the things I really like about reactions of people is that they say, you're not really talking about politics. You're really talking about the way politics affects us as Filipinos and how politically immature we can be, how sensitive we can be, how our refusal not to talk about things and not to have conversations and discussions can lead to such, deep-seated tampuhans na mean nothing, do nothing, achieve nothing.
Really looking forward to the Reconciliation Dinner. Please invite our viewers to watch starting yet again this
thank
weekend.
you very much. Yes, thank you. We're open at the PETA Theater Center here in Quezon City on August 5 and 6, 12 and 13, 19 and 20. These are the Saturdays and Sundays of August. 3 weekends, 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It's the original cast that opened in UP, and it would be so nice to see, for you who've seen the play before, to see how they've grown into their roles. It's a wonderful cast of professionals, and they've gelled. I was watching the rehearsal earlier, and it's amazing the way they keep finding things. They're like real people having it. They are real people having
Watch this third run
So
yet
please,
again after
third
watching
run,
the first and the second.
Reconciliation Dinner.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
on
much.
the success, Floy,
Thank you
of
so much.
Reconciliation
And
Dinner.
we'll see you on Saturday.
Floy Quintos, playwright of the Reconciliation Dinner.